Yu-Gi-Oh players always talk about how expensive the game is. In this series, I'm going to find out how far I can get with only the money made from donating plasma. This week, we received $40 from the donation, plus our $29.56 from the previous week's rollovers. We are at a total of $69.56. The past few weeks, we have been playing Exosister, but for the last 2 weeks, I know that I've said that I've wanted to switch decks. I do like switching decks a lot, but in this series specifically, it's harder to do so with limited funds. But I also think that we've kinda took Exosister as far as we realistically can, so I am deciding to switch decks this week. I'm switching to Trap Tricks. There are a few reasons why I've picked Trap Tricks. I've kind of played this deck a little bit in the past, and it's obviously very trap heavy, and I am hoping that that can kind of counteract the meta, hopefully. But this is what we bought off of eBay, and this was only $13.25, and this is only 29 cards in the main deck and 13 cards in the extra deck. So we've went ahead and we've just kind of added some stuff that we have already had, but we've also added a few new cards. For the new cards, we added 3 Parallel Exceed at $1.91 each for a total of $5.73. We added 3 Trap Trick. We're going to main 2 and side 1 for now and see how that works. But they were $1.31 each for a total of $3.93. And we added 2 Trap Tantalizing Tune for $1.51 for a total of $3.02. After buying everything for the week, we leave the week with a $43.63 rollover. So that's going to be rolling over to the next week's. I don't know how much I'm going to improve Trap Tricks. I might try to buy a more expensive cards and slowly work towards having a more expensive deck overall. I do want something that can compete. With that all out of the way, let's get into the tournament. Our opponent goes first. They're going to Flashing Fire for Hugin. Hugin effect discarding Regular No More to search Fountain. Normal summoning Red Rose Dragon, sinking off into the Garden Rose Maiden, triggering the Red Rose Dragon, and Maiden to search Garden, Red Rose Dragon to special Rocks Rose Dragon, which will trigger Rocks Rose's effect in order to grab Rose Shoot from the deck. Black Garden will be played. They synchro into Crystal Wing Dragon, and with Black Garden they give us the token. Dazzle Rose Shoot to special out Red Rose Dragon, which gives us another token. They will now Black Garden, popping our tokens to special out a Garden Rose Maiden, synchroing those into a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, activating the Runic Fountain, setting 2 and passing. And since I know that both of the Crystal Wings are monster negates, I'm opting to not activate the monster effect of Myrmilio to search. I just link into the Sarah, and they activate Flashing Fire on my Sarah. So even though I did chain the Parallel Exceed will not summon, because there is no target. Runic's Fountains for 2. I'm just going to wind up setting D-Barrier, Nightmare Trap Hole, and Holtia. They're going to activate Runic Slumber to get out Moonin. And I'm just going to go ahead and Terrifying Trap Hole, getting rid of one of their Crystal Wings. They're going to Runic Destruction of Holtia. And I just go ahead and summon it. They're going to Runic Fountain for 2 and be able to banish the Rose Maiden, specialing the Rocks Rose Dragon. And at this point, I'm just going to D-Barrier for Synchros, and they're going to go into an SP Little Knight, targeting the Holtia to destroy it. Then they will normal the Rocks Rose Dragon, searching out the Red Rose Dragon, and then, because they don't get a battle phase. And for turn, I wind up drawing Dioneia. And at this point, I'm just going to try to beat over the SP Little Knight, but he Book of Eclipses. So I draw a card off the Book of Eclipse during the end phase, and since the Crystal Wing was set due to Book of Eclipse, it doesn't get the attack decrease anymore, and they're going to activate Smithing Storm for 1, skip their battle phase, and I'm just going to again try to beat over SP Little Knight. He's going to tip for Slumber. He's going to activate Fountain to draw. I try to go back into Sarah and the Parallel Exceed again, and he will negate the Parallel Exceed with the Crystal Wing. We now try to activate Trap Tricks Vesquilo, and he's going to activate SP Little Knight, and I'm just going to go ahead and surrender. Game 2, we're going first, and since we are playing a trap-heavy deck, hopefully we'll be able to get something off the ground. Activate Tantalizing Tune, discarding the Nightmare. I'm going to normal out the Pudica, go into Sarah, set 2 and end. They're going to Lightning Storm. I'm going to D-Barrier, calling Synchros, and they are going to Flashing Fire the Sarah. So that's a turn skip for him, but also that kind of gets rid of all of my stuff. I'm going to set 3. I'm going to banish the Tantalizing Tune. I'm going to Myrmilio, get Floodgate Trap Hole, and just get in for some damage. Main phase 2, I'll go into the Sarah. And he's going to activate Slumber to special out a Hugin, discarding Basil Roshoot to get a Rab Fountain. And then he's going to be Cosmicking the Floodgate Trap Hole. He's going to activate Runic Fountain, and then activate Freezing Curses, Fountain to put back, and he's just going to end. I will normal out the Dionysus, specialing out the Murmillo. Murmillo's special effect, trying to pop Fountain, triggering in the Hugin to avoid the destruction of Fountain. Smiting Storm. He's going to Runic Destruction to special out another Hugin. Hugin to discard. Fountain to draw. I link into Adipus. Adipus effect, getting rid of the other Hugin. Hugin to put itself back in the extra. Deal 28 direct. He's going to Cosmic Cyclone the Floodgate Trap Hole again. And then he's going to Freezing Curses the Adipus. Going to activate Dispelling to get back the Hugin. Fountain to draw. He's going to normal out the Red Rose Dragon, synchroing into the Garden Rose Maiden. Red Rose Dragon to special out the Rox Rose Dragon. Rox Rose Dragon effect to search out the Red Rose Dragon. Going to be activating the Black Garden, synchroing into a Cyber/Harpy Lady and also giving me a token. The Cyber/Harpy Lady will put back the Adipus. Garden Rose Maiden to special out the Rox Rose Dragon. Get another token, and that's just going to be their turn. I'm going to Regeki. I'm going to be summoning out the Dionysus, giving him a token with the Black Garden. You beat over the token and then just attack directly. You're just going to set a monster and set a back row. So I'm going to normal out a Pudica, which gives them a token. With the weakening effect of Black Garden, I'm actually trying to figure out how I can get over this stuff, because it's very hard. So I decided to just go into Rafflesia, because I figured at some point it's going to have to get rid of the Black Garden. So I just crashed 2 tokens, set Haltia, and end. And then he's going to Fountain, and he's going to wind up synchroing off the Red Rose Dragon into TG Hyper Librarian. The Red Rose Dragon effect will activate, and I'll be chaining Rafflesia to it. He's going to Freezing Curses the Rafflesia, so the Gravedigger's Trap Hole that I sent doesn't burn him for game. So he specials out the Rox Rose Dragon. The Rox Rose Dragon searches the Red Rose Dragon. You can activate Runic Tip to get Runic Dispelling. Activates Dispelling to go in for a Moonin. Synchroing those off into a Mud Dragon and drawing a card. Summons out the Red Rose Dragon and goes into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Draws a card off Hyper Librarian. My opponent has realized that it's almost time, so he's going to go ahead and scoop it up because he doesn't want a draw. Because he was won game 1 and I'm going to win game 2 in time. So he goes ahead and scoops. And with time being right around the corner, unfortunately I have to go second. He's going to Fountain, playing Tip, activate Dispelling to summon the Moonin, Fountain to put back and draw, and end. He gains the 1000, and that's end of match procedures. Round 2 opponent starts, and they're going to be playing some White Forest, so they're going to be discarding Skill Drain in order to special out Elzete, searching out the Sylvie, and then they're going to summon out the Sylvie to get Tails of the White Forest, and then they will use those to synchro into the Sinister Soul of the White Forest, discarding the Tails of the White Forest to search out the Woes of the White Forest. And since Tails was discarded, it will be set back onto the field. And then they will special summon a Rusia. The Rusia sends in order to draw. They will activate Runic Fountain, so they are playing Runic White Forest. They will activate Destruction to special out a Hugin. They will Chainlink 1 Fountain, Chainlink 2 Hugin, discarding the Woes. Hugin will add Fountain. Runic Fountain will draw for 1, and then Woes activate to set, and then they will synchro into a Diabell, Queen of the White Forest, adding back the Skill Drain, and setting presumably the Skill Drain. So now it's my turn. I'm going to run out Traptrix Murmillo, adding Floodgate Trap Hole. Going to activate Kampa as Chainlink 1. They are going to activate Woes of the White Forest as Chainlink 2. Special summoning Alstellar, and synchroing into a Silveria, and the Wolf Tamer effect, and we'll be adding Elzeta. The Wolf Tamer sets my cards, and I attempt to activate Traptrix Garden, just for it to get Runic Destruction. So I'll be setting the Floodgate Trap Hole and Gravedigger's Trap Hole, and they'll be flashing firing the Kampa. They'll Fountain for 2, and now they're going to do Rusia to put back the Silvara to special summon it back. So it's their turn, they're going to draw, they're going to activate Smiting Storm to summon out Moonin. They'll Fountain for 1, and I'll activate Floodgate Trap Hole. And they will chain Diabell, discarding or sending Dark Ruler no more, specialing out the Zapper Shrimp. Zapper Shrimp is Chainlink 1, All-Stars Chainlink 2. I will Gravedigger's Trap Hole, 10-foot damage, and then they'll synchro into Tingjing, and they're going to be activating the Elzetti that they searched previously, sending Fountain to special summon itself, activating the other fountain they had in hand, summoning out the Sylvie, adding Woes, synchroing into Coral Dragon, and setting the card. And on my turn, I'm going to activate Super Poly, getting rid of the Chen-Ying and the Coral Dragon to go into a Mud Dragon of the Swamp. So they will activate Coral Dragon as Chainlink 1 and Rusia as Chainlink 2. So they'll be specialing out the Rusia and drawing a card. They'll grab Elzette, and I'll try to run out a Murmillo, but that gets stopped by Freezing Curses. They'll go and activate Woes of the White Forest to special summon out the Elzette, and quick synchroing into the Wolf Tamer. Wolf Tamer is going to set all of my monsters again. They're going to Slumber to banish more of my stuff. Should be fountain for 2. And I'm just going to have to pass, so on their turn they're going to activate Elzette to special, adding the Sylvie, the Stellar to special summon, and they'll go back into the Diabelle, Queen of the White Forest, adding back Woes, synchroing also into Tri-Edge Master, activating Dispelling to special out Gear in order to add back the Fountain, going into Chaos Angel to target my Murmillo, activating Slumber on its Diabelle, activating Fountain for 3, setting to Impassing. And at this point, my deck is getting pretty low, but I don't want to give up just yet, even though it is pretty hopeless for me. So I'm going to flip everything up. They're going to activate Woes and the Sylvie. So they special summon the Sylvie and special summon the Elzette, which allows them to go into the Wolf Tamer, which is just going to set all my monsters. And at this point, I've pretty much realized that I have no real chance of winning with them being able to special summoning the Wolf Tamer. So I just go ahead and scoop it up. I get it started off. So I'm going to be playing Vessi, going to Sarah, and I'm just going to be setting Gravedigger, Trap Hole, and Trap Trick. Time is an issue coming up, because I know we're going to be going into time, so hopefully I can just get off the Gravediggers. They're going to be activating Slumber in order to special out a Hugin. They'll discard Tails to get Runic Fountain, which means they get Tails of the White Forest to set back. They'll activate the Fountain. They activate Elzetti, discarding, sending Woes, and I activate Gravedigger's Trap Hole, and I hope that secures me the win. They activate Woes, since it was sent, to reset, and I chain Sarah, and they will activate Freezing Curses to negate the Sarah, and I will activate Trap Trick, getting Dimensional Barrier. They Runic Fountain for 2, and I activate Dimensional Barrier, calling Synchro. They triple Tactics Talent me, and now it is my turn. I play the Dynea. They will activate Woes, chaining Flashing Fire, targeting Sarah to destroy the Sarah, and specialing out the Rusia. Quick synchroing off into the Wolf Tamer, Runic Fountain as 1, Wolf Tamer to set as 2, and now they will Freezing Curses to special out a Moonin to gain them 1,000 in my end phase. So now it's their turn. They'll Elzetti, again discarding the Woes, sending Woes, grabbing Sylvie, Woes set itself, Rusia to put back the extra monster to special itself from grave, synchroing into the Tri-Edge Master. The Sylvie now gets summoned, grabs the Woes, the Rusia activates to special itself, synchro off into the Chen-Ying, Tails activates to set itself, and then I set another card, and they gain another 1,000 off of Moonin in their end phase, and I'll flip up my monsters. He'll activate Woes, special, make the Silver the Wolf Tamer again to set my monsters, and I will summon Mantis, and if Mantis gets Freezing Curses, I use it to go into a Sarah, and that's time. And unfortunately, since they won game 1, we tied in game 2. That means they're up a game, so they technically win the match. For round 3, I have received a bye this round. This is round 4, and I get to start. So it's my turn, and for once I actually get to play. So I activate Tantalizing Tune, discarding the Vessi to draw 2. I normal summon the Dynea, getting back the Vessi. They will activate Ghost Ogre to destroy the Dynea, but since it doesn't negate, I still have the Vessi. So I will use that as link material to go to Sarah, activating the Parallel Exceed. They will imperm the Sarah, which does nothing because it's unaffected, so that's okay. So Chainlink 1 will be Parallel Exceed to summon an Exceed. Chainlink 2 will be Sarah to special summon another Vessi. And I use the 2 Parallel Exceeds to go into Trap Tricks for Flasia, set Tricks Holtia, and set Dimensional Barrier, and pass. So on my opponent's turn, they're going to activate Kashtira Unicorn, and I'm going to Rafflesia that, and I'm going to be sending Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare, so it's going to be getting rid of it, and since I activated a Traptrix monster, Sarah activates, and they're going to quit. They're not just going to surrender, they quit the tournament, they leave the tournament. Last round of the tournament, let's see what we're going up against. We did draw double Super Poly, which is nice, and I just won because the time limit expired, and the person just might be AFK. I do think they're just going to time out again. I hope I'm still connected to the servers, and these aren't counting as losses. He is going to time out, so that does mean I am 3-2, and that is a very undeserved 3-2, because I didn't technically win any of the games that I won. Now that the tournament is over, we wound up getting 5th place, and we did wind up going 3-2. Very undeserved for going 3-2. I don't know if I want to keep this deck for another week or not. If I'm going to keep it, I'm going to have to change up a lot of things. I'm definitely going to have to add like a Gravediggers. I don't know if I even want to keep the Holtias. I know that they can be used to make like rank 4s and stuff, or if you really have to, you can go into a link 1 or maybe a link 2. I don't know. I don't know if I want to continue playing this with it showing this week. And if I'm not playing this, I have to find what else I can play. I know how to play Runic, but I don't want to play Runic in this series. Let's hope whatever I do decide to do for next week winds up being good. Until next time, peace.